All right, hello and welcome to another edition of the Spotter Stand. Just left Kentucky last week and we are headed into New Hampshire this week. We had another great week of racing behind us. In the booth, once again with us this week, BSR Hot Rod, BSR Rugrat. We got Eddie D in the booth with us this week, and I see Eli 114 in here with us. How's everybody doing today?
I'm doing great, Texan. How are you?
Doing good.
It's been a great week, other than having to work on my day off today, which I get a little overtime, make a little extra money, so I guess I can't complain too much about that. I didn't get quite as much done today as I was hoping. I did get most of the bonus points edited as far as updating points and everything. I wasn't able to get in the I didn't get with you, Larry, and we weren't able to get in the attendance points for the truck season since the official truck season is over now, and we're going to be moving into the chase. Bonus points are updated except for the segment bonus points, which are still going to need to be added in for the truck segment, and the attendance bonus points will still need to be added in, but they're pretty close to where they would be. We'll let you guys know what will be different uh, as we get over to the bonus points for the truck. All three series ran at Kentucky this week. Trucks, Cup, and Xfinity series ran at Kentucky. And let's get right into it. Wednesday night in the Truck Series, great race at Kentucky on Wednesday night. This Kentucky track that we run. I know some of you guys don't like it all that much, but I love this track. It's got a good high groove. You can use the high lane as well as the low lane. Of course, that very bottom lane, you get a little pushy, I think, coming off the corner if you try to run in that very bottom lane, especially in the Cup physics. But in the trucks, great racing in the trucks. Everybody is really close. Produced a lot of side by side and a lot of great racing on Wednesday night. And this past Wednesday, it was BSR Mayhem and that number 4 5150 Bomb Squad racing machine that brought home the victory at Kentucky. Great race. Mayhem had a great truck. He led a lot of laps in that race and brought home the victory. Great job, Mayhem.
Yeah, that was definitely some great racing going on, Texan. I mean, like you said, side by side, door handle to door handle, the action was definitely fast and furious.
Let's take a look at our race results from Wednesday night's truck race.
Yes, Mayhem led the most laps also with his win. Barry got second, Pockets third, Momo fourth, and Hot Rod rounds out the top five. What happened to Texan at the end of that race?
Yeah,
He had the
I
second most laps led.
well, uh, there was a little bit of an incident. I think this is the race that I wished I'd had a little more time today because I was going to pull up some highlights and show some highlights of these races because there was some great racing in all three of these series.
Oh, this is the one where you and Joba got together there towards the end, ain't it?
Yeah, Joba and I were racing for the win. I believe it was about 2 laps to go, coming off of turn 4, and we got side by side, had a little bit of contact, and I ended up flipping, doing a barrel roll. Somebody, I can't remember who it was, but they were right behind me as I was doing that barrel roll, and I think it was Barry, as a matter of fact, but I'm not sure. I think it was Barry. He tried to go underneath me because my car was in the air, barrel rolling as he was coming up on me, and I mean he really didn't have anywhere to go. He was right behind me, so you know he tries to go underneath me, and that just continued my roll. Made me roll even more. That it seemed like from inside the truck, it seemed like one of those never-ending crashes. Like that roll was just never going to stop, and I couldn't figure out why it was rolling for so long until I went back and I watched that replay and said, "Oh, he drove underneath me and had a little contact, and that's what kept it rolling for so long." But yeah, that was a little bit of an incident. It ended up killing my motor. I coasted across the line to take the white flag, but I was not able to continue around for the last lap. So yeah, that's what happens. It was tight racing. That was a lot of fun. A lot of fun racing in that. There was a lot of back and forth, a lot of crossovers, and I'll take the lead from you. You take it right back from me. And SS and I were just racing really close there at the end. Like I said, a little contact, and I ended up flipping. That's what happened to me. But Mayhem just joined us in the booth. Mayhem had the awesome race. Led the most laps, took the victory. Great job, great racing there, Mayhem.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that was I kind of lucked into that win. I don't think by that last lap, those last few laps of the run, I did not have the best truck. And you and I believe, was it Joba? They got together there. I just joined you guys. And it was last lap, too close. Little something happened. I was able to sneak underneath his and take back the win. I knew the truck was good, but I would run it too hard, and by the last 7 laps or so, it just kind of gave out for me. But it wound up in my favor anyway. So yeah, it was a great race. Lots of good stuff going on.
I actually restarted. I think we restarted with somewhere in the margin around 7 or so laps to go. And I had gone in and pitted. A lot of the guys elected to stay out with so few laps to go. I went in, I pitted, I took 4 tires. I also put on 75 tape. So I took a little gamble, little chance with the tape. I put on 75, and man, that truck was fast. Having the fresh tires and having the 75 tape, I was able to use that outside lane to my advantage and actually get around a few drivers. That's how I'd made my way back up to be battling there with SS. And man, truck was fast at the end with all that tape on it. I tell you what, that was a blast. That race was a lot of fun.
Yeah, Kentucky gets loose there, especially I noticed if I tried to bump up my tape, it was just, I couldn't control it. So I figured I might as well leave it on there. I had a little bit older tires, but at least I know I'd be stable enough to not go to the back.
Mr. Texan.
Yes, sir.
Permian said, I think I'm saying that right. Is it Permian? Is that how you pronounce his name?
Parmian.
Okay, Parmian said 11 rolls to be exact.
Yeah, and I would believe him because he's usually pretty much spot on with that kind of stuff. When he calls out a number or something like that, he's usually pretty spot on. So yeah, that sounds about right. 11 rolls, and I tell you, 11 rolls from inside the truck. It seems like it's never going to stop rolling. It landed on its wheels though.
Well, that's a plus. Too bad you didn't have a motor to finish the race, though. That's the only bad thing.
Well, it could have been worse. I'll take a 8th place. 8th place lap down. I think I ended up finishing top 5. That was the last race of the segment. Let's go over and take a look at the points as they stand before we reset everything and go into the chase. So after our last race of the segment, before we hit the chase, BSR Mayhem with a whopping 43-point lead over Pockets in 2nd place. Hot Rod in 3rd, down by 54. Myself in 4th, down by 80. And Momo rounding out the top 5, down by 86. So, Mayhem, you did an awesome job, man, in this truck season. You killed it. 43-point lead over 2nd place. Awesome.
I gotta be honest, I was so jealous of you last year getting all those championships. I said, I know I can compete. I can't guarantee I'm gonna beat you, but I tried. I worked a lot with these setups, and I'm excited for this chase. We kind of start over. I know I got a little bit of a bonus point lead. I just gotta have some good luck and be easy and stay out of trouble. And I'm looking for that championship.
Yeah, you got a really good shot at that, because as we're fixing to see here, we're going to go over and take a look at these bonus points here for this truck season. As I was mentioning earlier, I didn't get a chance to fully update these bonus points. I had to work today. I was planning on doing that today, and I had to work, so I did get most of it done on my lunch break. I got a little bit of it done, but as you can see, that segment box down there at the bottom still not filled up. The top 5 for the segment points still have to be added in, and the attendance points still have to be added in. Now, pretty much all of us over there are going to get the attendance points, so that'll even itself out. But you will have 2 more. You can see you got 10 bonus points right now after that win last week at Kentucky. You're up to 10. Next closest person to you is myself at 5. So 5-point lead right there. But you've got 2 points coming for the segment. I got 1 point coming for the segment. So that's going to give you a 6-point 6-point lead, yeah, going into the chase, because we should even out on the attendance points, both get the same number of points there. But yeah, going in the first race of the chase, that's going to be 6 points you're going to have in lead. And of course, these last 10 races, this is where your race bonus points are going to make all the difference. This is where you want to make sure if you've got an opportunity to lead a lap, you want to lead a lap, even if it means you have to stay out during a pit stop to lead that lap and go back to the back. You're going to make sure you get that point for leading a lap. If you can lead the most and get that point for leading the most laps, and you want to do everything you can to maximize every point you can get in every single race, because 10 races, that's a lot of racing. And even though you got a 6-point advantage there, 6 points really not that much. Now you got one thing going for you, is we do have a bit of a reduced field now. With a lot of drivers electing to go to that other server, and the field is a little bit smaller. We're down to in the range of between 11 and 16 cars that are going to show up to race. So with a slightly reduced field, it will be harder to gain those 6 points on you. But 10 races is a long time, so you're going to have to mind all your P's and Q's, do everything you can to get every point you can in every race.
That is for sure. And I mean, even, finishing well is good, but I got to stay ahead of you catching up and whoever wants to catch up. And I got, like you said, I got to gain some, points that you guys might be able to gain as well. You lead a lap, I got to definitely lead a lap and even that out. That's the way to do that.
Absolutely, yeah. And as you can see, Pockets is also right there with 4. You're going to gain 1 more point on him as well. He did get a top 5 in the truck, so that'll be a 7-point lead over Pockets. And it looks like maybe about an 8-point lead over Momo SS Joba. So you got quite a few drivers that are going to be right there pretty close to you, points wise. And victories, you pulled off some victories here. You got 2 in the regular season, plus you got the All-Star race victory, several top 5s. You won the fall Texas race as well. So several victories you pulled off during this truck season, and a couple of victories in the chase might just seal the deal for you. You might be able to pull that championship home this year.
Oh, there are a number of tracks I am eyeing for that for sure. I know I have good truck, good setups, and just gotta, like I said, you gotta hit your marks on everything. Pit stops, restarts, not letting people who you might not trust next to you get to you. Let them go, man. Just give them the spot. Make sure they don't wreck you, because I'd rather finish second than finish last with no truck. So it's all about, that's what I learned last year, was that you can't be too aggressive, because you're just gonna shoot yourself in the foot.
Oh yeah, let them go, and wait till closer to the end of the run. Maybe you'll be faster then. You keep a nice steady pace and hold on to those tires.
Amen.
So let's go take a look at Thursday night. Nope.
Hold on.
Oh, we got to update where we're headed to this week, don't we?
Yes, sir.
Trucks are off.
That's right. We're going back to the dirt. We are headed to Accord.
Well, now we ran a fun run at Accord this past Saturday night.
That's right. Mr. Randy C won that. That was awesome with Randy out there getting a win.
Yeah, absolutely. Randy actually had a pretty good car in the dirt, and Gear also joined us.
New driver.
Yeah, joined us.
Brand new driver.
for his very first race, I think he did an awesome job. He drove great. He was able to hold that outside line, which a few drivers were able to do. I saw you doing it, Eli doing it. A few of the drivers were able to hold that outside line. But Gear, I mean, awesome
With
job.
a gamepad.
Yeah,
With a gamepad.
yeah. Just wait till he gets a
That's
wheel
even
hooked up.
harder.
Oh, he's got a wheel. He just didn't want to spend the time to hook it up.
As a matter of fact, he was going to take some time today and set that up.
Already done.
So he's got his wheel set up. So next week we've got some, or this week, come dirt. Actually, tomorrow. I'm sure he'll be in there tomorrow night at Accord. Same track, but this time with a wheel. We're going to have some competition for Eli 114 and Hot Rod the Foot Doctor in the dirt. We know those two guys, both as good as they come in the dirt. Great dirt racers. I expect Gear with a wheel and a little more practice time. He's gonna be right there challenging you guys.
Believe it or not, he hooked his wheel up, Texan, and he was in practicing and turning laps, and he was slower with the steering wheel than he was with the gamepad.
Really?
Yeah.
Just take a little bit of getting used to for him, but he's got a lot better control with that wheel. That's for sure.
Well, here's what it is, okay? And you know yourself, and this is definitely key. It's all in wheel settings. Got to be able to get the wheel settings right.
If you're turning too much or too less, right?
That don't matter. You just got to get them to where you can feel comfortable and be able to get around the track. And he was way off when he plugged his wheel in and went in the game. His linearity was only at like 10%. It was crazy. I mean, it was just nuts. So he's got some things to do. I told him to turn the linearity up to 100, and he's playing with some force feedback settings. Once he gets that stuff figured out, though, yep, like you said, I expect him to be some stiff competition. Anyway, let's put it that way.
Yeah, I run my linearity at 100. So I have that nice, straight track, and
I do too. I told him to stick it up to 100, take assist off, and then got him to. I can't help him with the force feedback stuff. I don't run any, especially in the dirt. So he's playing with that. So
yeah, I gotta have that force feedback, man. That gives me all of the input back from my car. It lets me know when I'm getting loose, what the car is doing underneath me. I got to have that force feedback in there. I don't run any centering spring in my wheel. I know a lot of drivers like that centering. They use that centering spring as the pushback. To when you're turning the wheel, you feel like you've got some resistance. I turn off that centering spring and I turn on the game's force feedback. So, sometimes if you're out there just sitting still and you turn the wheel, you don't really have anything pushing back on you. But as soon as you get in the corner, you start turning that wheel, or even when you're not turning the wheel, you got to hold on to it because that wheel is pushing back against you. And
Well, the biggest problem with that though is when you have a centering spring, it doesn't really feel caster camber with it because it doesn't pull.
right. So that's why I turn that centering spring off and turn the force feedback on. Of course, we all know force feedback in this game it'll rip your desk apart if you got your wheel on there tight. So you can't really crank that force feedback all the way up. I run 20% force feedback from the game, 0 centering spring in my wheel, and that seems to be pretty good.
See, I run my linear all the way down at 0. I don't know how you guys do it way up that way.
he's he was playing somewhere with 12 or 15% steer or force feedback killer. I think it's where he was at or something like that. I don't know exactly what his numbers were.
Yeah, it's a little. If he's planning on running just dirt, that's probably a better number because at dirt, you're getting a lot of feedback from it all the time, and the lower number is probably better for your wheel, help your wheel last longer too. But I just don't like changing it. I run 20% for the pavement tracks all the time, and I just leave it there at the 20% on the dirt. Sometimes it does. It'll work my arm a little bit, but that's where I leave it, 20%.
Well, the only thing about you, plus in the dirt track, you tend to turn the wheel much faster right to left than you do in the asphalt.
So, anyways, and then the following week we'll be back in the trucks. So
that following week, we got
Pocono.
a cord tomorrow night and Pocono in the trucks the next week. That's going to be the
that
first chase
starts
race.
the chase. Yes, the first chase race is Pocono. That is next week, not this week. Next week.
And
Pocono.
Texan Randy C is sitting here saying he wants to thank you for telling him to get going on the last lap because he thought there was a caution.
Yeah, well, they were calling caution, but I mean, it was the last lap and it was race back. Once we go inside of 10 to go, it's race back. So even if there's a caution on the track, you gotta go. You gotta race back because we're not gonna parade around under caution to the checkered flag. And I saw him start to check up, and I had to let him know, hey, it's a caution, race back, go, and he did. He took that win too.
For such a small track, it's got real good potential for fun racing.
Great job, Randy. Good win. Maybe you can repeat that tomorrow night because we're going to be back at that same track in the Dirt Series tomorrow night at Accord.
That's right.
So let's go ahead then move over. We'll take a look at Thursday night's Cup race. Thursday night. Little strategy going on in the Thursday night race. Thursday's Cup race was a pretty good race, totally different from the truck physics. And again, you get down that bottom line, and especially in these Cup physics, and it really makes your car push up coming off the corner. I think I was taking advantage of that maybe a little more than some of the other guys through the race, and I was staying up in that second lane for most of the race, which also wasn't eating my tires up nearly as bad, not getting that push coming off the corners. But I used a little bit of strategy at the end of that race, just taking 2 tires on the last green flag pit stop, and came out about 4 seconds ahead of Momo, who was in second place. Momo did run me down, but once he got to me, he had already used up a lot of his tires trying to catch up to me. So even though I only had 2, I was able to stay ahead of him and hold off Momo to bring home the victory at Kentucky. So that number 201 original flavor Drunken Cow Jerky Machine once again in the victory lane in the Cup Series for the 5th time this year now. Man, it's amazing.
I think my pit strategy would have really changed the order up had pit road not held me for some dumb reason. Which I still haven't figured out what happened there. I went back and looked at that in the replay and still can't figure that out.
I know I've seen that happen to guys before when they've had something up.
I think it's something to do with the way you catch the line, and it puts me a lap down and it locks me in there. I haven't figured out exactly what happened, but I was only taking a splash of fuel and no tires, and I may have been a lap down, but I don't think so. At that point, I don't think you guys would have caught me, and yeah, that would have been a whole 40 lap run on the same set of tires. I got incredible wear out of my tires on that last run.
Yeah, my left side tires, they had some wear on them, but not a terrible amount. So I thought it would be worth it to go in and just take 2 tires, being able to run that high line a little bit. I knew I was going to gain time on the track, but as many laps as there were left, I thought for sure that Momo was going to catch me when I came out and saw he was just 4 seconds back. But, like I said, I guess he used up his tires trying to catch up. He got to within about 1 second of me. I think 0.8 was as close as he was able to get. And it just leveled off from there. And I was able to keep that distance all the way to the end.
What you seen how good them old tires worked? You took you a long time to catch me.
Yeah, I actually that might have actually been part of what helped keep me ahead of him because once I did get close enough to you, I had just a little bit of your draft, and that was helping my lap times. I think just enough to keep him from catching all the way up to me.
Yep, I believe that too. Um,
So yeah, let's take a look at the race results from Thursday night's Cup race at Kentucky.
yes, good win, Texan. You did not lead the most laps. Mr. Momo did actually led the most laps with 42, and then Barry, which got third. He led the next most laps. Pockets got fourth, and I got fifth, and neither of us led. Looks like Joba snuck one in. So
Yeah.
four leaders through the race. That was it.
And I see Joba looks like he had some engine trouble. Says he lost a header.
Oh yeah, he was in front of me when he blew up, and man, it just let go. It just started smoke started billowing out of it, and yep.
Did we get a caution from that? Did we have any cautions?
We had two cautions in that. One was a debris caution, and I think there was.
It was when, remember when Barry had that wreck and he came down, and that's when he took me out.
Yeah, no, two. Jobas did not bring a caution out.
Yeah, so we had one actual incident on the track, and then one debris caution. You see with the light turnout there on Thursday night, obviously it went green flag pretty much the whole race. So other than the debris, only one incident, one caution for the whole race. There were a lot of green flag pit stops in that race, and it still stayed, pretty close there. You see Momo just barely over a half a second behind for second place. So that was a pretty close race. So let's take a look at the point standings for this Cup Series. We're a few races, about 6 races in to segment 2 now, I believe. I hold on to the lead with Pockets in second place, down by 37. Mayhem in third, down by 51. Hot Rod in fourth place, down by 54, and Momo holding on to the fifth position, down by 72.
Yes, and we are headed to New Hampshire.
New Hampshire, a little bit of flat track racing.
Yes.
That's a tough track, New Hampshire. It's
I like that track actually. That Martinsville, I like them short flat tracks.
yeah, that's one where in New Hampshire you got to be able to coast and roll that corner, and that's one of my
Tire
so tracks. Yeah, it's not. I'm not so great
fuel
there.
save mode. Tire fuel save mode. That's one of the. I know I got a good long run set there, Killer. I haven't changed the setup there in a long time, so that if that goes green, that could wreak havoc for a lot of the top points guys this week.
What makes that track tough as opposed to Richmond or Martinsville is that you have those long straightaways compared to a half-mile track. And that, you're going that much faster, then you got to figure out your braking points, and you got to let the car roll in the center on a flat track from a much higher speed, which makes it, in my opinion, much tougher than a Martinsville or a Richmond.
Yeah, a little bit less braking, and the corners are obviously they're a little wider, a little bigger, bigger turn than you would get at Martinsville or Bristol or something like that. But like you said, you got that higher speed you're carrying down into the corner, and just being able to sweep that corner, to be able to roll nice and smooth around the middle of the corner and pick the gas up early coming off. The sooner you can get in the gas coming off, the better you're going to be, the faster you're going to be, and that's the key to New Hampshire. being consistent has always been the hardest thing for me, is to get a good consistent lap there and not drive it in too deep. I tend to drive it in too deep, or get back in the gas too soon, either get loose mid corner or hit the wall coming off. That's
That's
my
why. That's why you always use brake. And here's a little secret: you always use brake points as the color on the track. Well, here's the thing: as you get going and the track kind of starts blending in your eyes. So I always use a good visual. There's a good mark on the wall that I use there to lift, and I lift in segments there. I don't lift all the way. I kind of burp the throttle, kind of roll, ease out, and keep lifting out, and then back all the way hard. So it's kind of weird, but I don't. That's one of the only tracks, Gil. You always tell me, "Oh, I lived here at this black mark on the track." There, I can't because it all when you're running around there, it just for some reason the track lines kind of blend into me. So I got a mark on the wall that I use there, and it kind of works pretty good for me.
Yeah, it's always been hard for me to pick out a spot on the wall, or sometimes if it's near where one of the caution lights are, where those are sticking out, I can use that. But an actual spot on the wall, I just have a hard time picking that spot and looking over at the wall and knowing. So I like you said, I use the dark marks on the track where the tire, the rubber is laid down in the track. It always has that spot where it gets a little darker, and
Yep.
that's what I use for markers.
If you're not in the lead, one of the best markers is that truck in front, car in front of you. Then
Yes.
you know about where you. That to me, that always helps, especially on the early laps when you're getting your bearings. You just watch where those other guys are going. Oh wow, he got him pretty deep, and he couldn't hold it, so I know I got to back off from there, and that helps for me a lot.
That's right. That's not actually a bad idea, man. That's why on a race like New Hampshire, I'll start in the back and start checking and see how deep everybody's running in and kind of make mental notes of how far guys are going in. So I know who, uh, not necessarily that I don't want them behind me, but if I'm not going in as far as they are, that them guys are going to be right up on me. Maybe take a little air off or something like that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. You definitely don't want to, those guys that you know going deep and they might not even be able to hold it, whether they're good at it or not. You don't want them behind you because you're going to wind up one of those laps in the wall and something's not going to go very well.
Tempor.
So let's take a look at the bonus points here in the Cup Series. These are correct and up to date. I was able to go back and fix what I had screwed up last
User
week.
disconnected from your channel.
Looks like we lost Mayhem.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll be back. So last week I had forgot that Daytona was a bonus point race, and instead of entering the top 5 bonus points there, I had put Momo over in the win column over there with just 1 bonus point. But I have gone back and updated that. As you can see there, Momo, I know you're out there watching. Look at that Daytona. You've got your 3 bonus points for that Daytona victory. DJ got 2, Pockets 1. And then this last week, I have gone up to the 5 victories over there in the winner race column. So that moves me still in the lead up to a total of 23 bonus points in this Cup Series. And Momo, you have moved up to 21. So only 2 points off the lead right now. As we would head, if we were to head into the chase, you're only 2 points back at the moment. So you held on to that lead in this series and these bonus points for about the first half, or a little more than the first half of segment 1, and you're still right there as we're about 6 races into segment 2. Still, there's 13 races here in segment 2, so still 7 races to go in this Cup Series segment before we head into the chase in the Cup. But you're right there, man. 2 points off. it's going to be just about anybody's chase in all of these series. But I think it's going to be really close in the Cup Series once we finish off this segment and head into the chase. So let's go over then and we'll take a look at Friday night's Xfinity Series. Friday night Xfinity Series also ran at Kentucky. And we had a pretty similar race to what we had on Wednesday night in the Truck Series. Only on Friday night, it was BSR Momo in that number 54 Fireball Whiskey machine. Brought home the victory in the Xfinity Series. And man, that is a badass looking car. I give Momo a hard time about that. I guess that's the Fireball logo, the guy on the side of his car. I always give him a hard time. I say it looks like a devil monkey or something, a monkey with a flaming head, but I guess it is some kind of a little devil or demon or something drinking some Fireball. But man, that's an awesome looking car. I don't know who painted that, if that was Wings or if that was Scar. But man, hats off to the painter of that car. That's a great looking car. Who painted that, Momo? I see you out there. Type that in out there in the chat. Let us know who painted that Fireball car for you. And Momo said he's got something else in the works. I guess it's going to be another Fireball car. Supposedly going to be even sweeter than this one right here. But that's a great render, great looking car, and awesome job on Friday night, Momo. Great job on the victory. Congrats, man.
Yes, good win, Momo. Actually, Friday was great. We had a little more cautions than we did on Wednesday, but it was still great racing when we were running. Though I know that.
From your channel.
Momo won. Texan got second. Mayhem was third. Fourth was Scar. Fifth was Pockets. If I remember right, that's the one where me, Scar, and Pockets were all banging doors all the way to the start finish line on the last lap.
Yeah, I believe that was that race. I remember hearing you guys talking about that. Me and Momo and Mayhem were up there, racing for the lead. Hell, you guys were right there, literally right behind us. I mean, if you look at the interval, I was only 0.14 seconds behind Momo. Mayhem right there, 0.72. Scar 0.80. Pockets 0.95, and you're right there, 1.12. SS right behind him, Randy right behind him, and Furco right behind him. So not even 2 seconds separating the top 9 drivers there at the end of that race.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened to Furco. Furco led about 10 laps. He had a really good car. I don't remember what happened to him. Maybe he got tangled up with something or had some damage or something. Maybe he didn't put enough tape on at the end there. I know everybody taped up for that last little run there.
And you see Mayhem obviously had a good car again. Won the truck race on Wednesday night and led 46 laps in this Xfinity Series race. So Mayhem with another great car and another great finish.
That's crazy. You and Momo had exactly the same amount of laps led.
Yeah, 7. Same amount. But he brought home the victory and he brought home the points. 45 points versus my 43. Speaking of points, let's see how we stand in the Xfinity Series here, as we are about halfway through second segment here in the Xfinity Series. I do hold the lead, but Momo right there, only 10 points behind in second place. Pockets in third, down by 23. Hot Rod in fourth, down by 29. And Wings holding on to the top 5 position there, down by 61.
Yes. I was going to say something. I forgot what I was going to say.
New Hampshire again this week in the Xfinity Series as well, right?
Oh, yes. That is absolutely correct. New Hampshire is both the Cup and the Xfinity. And what I was going to say is we are exactly halfway. We ran 6 races of 12. So this is halfway in Xfinity.
Yeah, the Xfinity and the Cup Chase start almost exactly the same time. One may be a week ahead of the other.
Actually, I think they start the same week.
Really?
If I'm at the same track, even. I'll go double check to make sure. No, I won't neither. I don't have them up yet. I don't think. I'll look anyway, though.
So we're going to be at New Hampshire this week on Friday night. I know we've got some road courses coming up in this series. When is our next road course? You can't look at that either, can you?
Yes, I can. Give
Can
me
you?
1 second. I can check that. Our next road course. This schedule is crazy because we have New Hampshire this week. Next week we're at Pocono. The following week we are at a road course, which is the Glen. Then it's Michigan, Bristol, Darlington, and Indianapolis for the Xfinity. Oh no, that's the Cup. That's the Cup. I'm sorry, I was on the wrong one. Let me go. Let me get on the right one here, Killa. So it's New Hampshire and Iowa. That's right. Then the Glen. That's what it is. So this week's New Hampshire. Next week is Iowa.
Oh, so I'm looking at it here myself, and we've got two road courses back to back. After Watkins Glen, we move straight over to Mid Ohio. The very next week, we've got another road course in this.
But look at the toughness of the rest of this schedule. You have New Hampshire, then Iowa, then the Glen, then Mid Ohio, then Bristol, then Road America.
Yeah, that's
That's a tough schedule right there.
yeah, Ohio. That's Pocket's favorite track. I know he loves Iowa. That's just one of his favorites. He loves to run around out there and get some corn.
Yes, we'll definitely be missing him again on Spotter Stand that week. I guarantee it.
Now, Mid Ohio, that track is the one. That's the one with
The big up squared off corner.
Yes, yeah, that's going to be a tough one for me being in car.
Yeah, yes, very tough.
So let's take a look here at the bonus points in the Xfinity Series as they stand right now.
And if I'm not mistaken, the Mid Ohio with the corner we're talking about, that is called the Canadian Tire corner. Am I correct? I'm pretty sure that's what they call that corner.
It may be. It's once you get up that hill, that next right-hand turn is literally right there. I mean, it's
absolutely. It's like you fall up into another world when you turn right and come back down that hill. It's just like, it's crazy.
So Momo with the win here in the Xfinity Series moves up to 2 wins on the board there in the Xfinity. And let's look over here in the far right-hand corner. Momo up to 17 bonus points total. It looks like 18 points currently is the lead. Looks like Pockets has 18. I've also got 18. Momo right there, only 1 point off of us with 17 bonus points. 6 races to go before we finish off segment 2. We've got our segment 2 bonus points, full season bonus points, and we head into the chase. What's going to be the first race of the chase for this Xfinity Series? Is it the same as the Cup?
Hang on a second, because I'm not sure. I'm not sure because I don't have that posted yet, so I can't.
Roger. Well, we got some time to go.
I mean, I could. Last year it was Darlington, so I would imagine it's probably that or something similar to it anyway.
Darlington. That's not a good track for me. If that's in the chase, in the Cup Series, and in the Xfinity Series, that's definitely going to be one of the ones. Darlington and Dover, I think both of those tracks are in the chase, I believe, and those two are both tough tracks for me.
Let me see. Darlington was not in the Cup chase last year, but I don't know if it is this year or not. What was the other track? I know you said Darlington. What was the other one?
Dover. I'm pretty sure Dover's in there.
Oh, Dover absolutely is in the Cup. I know for sure. Let me recheck and see his Xfinity last year. Yep, and Dover. Yep, Dover is in both.
Well, this week we'll spend a little bit of time, maybe on Friday. I believe I will be off Friday. Maybe Larry, if you can be in here Friday, we can finish updating those truck bonus points and get the attendance points added in there. And I will update that top 5 for the segment, get those points added in there. And even though we're not running in the trucks this coming up week, it's going to be dirt. Before we head into the chase, we'll have an updated stand on the bonus points on what everybody's going to get added to their first race after Pocono. So once Pocono is finished, we'll add those bonus points to whatever the points total is at the end of the Pocono race, and that's how we're going to do it. So we'll try to get those updated for you this week, and next week on the spotter stand we'll have some updated truck bonus points along
Yeah,
with
because
dirt.
because there's no overall with the truck. The actual schedule is the overall. So
Yeah, we just do it as a segment basically. The segment 1 bonus points is a 2 1 1 1 1. So there will be those will be added.
yes.
That's about all we got for you this week. Just the 3 nights of racing. We ran the fun run in the dirt on Saturday night at Accord, the one that Randy C brought home the victory. We'll be back at Accord tomorrow night, so you guys be ready. We'll be there on the dirt at Accord, regular race time tomorrow, and on to New Hampshire in the Cup and the Truck or Xfinity Series this week. So with that, we're going to call it a night. We appreciate everybody who tuned in, watched us live, and appreciate all you guys being here, helping out with the spotter stand as usual. And we will see you guys in the dirt tomorrow night.
See ya.